Hey there! Well, before I go on, just quickly, there is a new training for men. It's for male entrepreneurs, businessmen, and professionals who are curious about going alcohol free, and it's called stayoffbooze.com. So you can go to stayoffbooze.com for that free training for men. Now, let's push on. What I want to talk about today is I want to ask the question: has alcohol stopped working for you? So if you think about that Verve song, the drugs don't work. Now the drugs don't work, they just make it worse. Oftentimes we will talk about drink and drugs as though they're separate, and of course they're not separate. Drink is very much a drug. And now, has it stopped working for you? Now, by that I don't mean has your tolerance gone up massively. What I mean is do you feel in your heart of hearts as though alcohol is kind of no longer serving you? I know a lot of guys sort of get to this age and they might think that way, and at the same time they might think that it's impossible to go alcohol free, and we can talk about that a bit later. But yeah, my question to you is, do you know in your heart of hearts that alcohol has stopped working for you? So I'm going to talk about the last time that I gave up drinking, the last time that I went alcohol free, because I've actually gone alcohol free twice. The first time I was alcohol free for 6 years, then I started drinking again for about 2.5 years. There's another story behind that, that's for another time. And then I started drinking again for about 2.5 years. And then I got to the point where it just wasn't serving me anymore. It was making me feel groggy. It was causing me some problems. And then it all came to a head. Basically, I went out drinking with an old friend of mine in Clapham Junction, and we drank as though it was 10 years earlier. And we got pretty smashed. We started on the beers, then we couldn't drink the beers anymore. Then we went on to the spirits, and then we went on to the shots. And it was a good laugh, don't get me wrong, we had a really good night, but as I said, we were drinking as though it was 10 years earlier, and we got pretty smashed. Now, the day after, my wife had planned a family trip to the Children's Theatre with my wife and my two kids. Anyway, I woke up on Saturday morning and I was in a very, very bad way, and I was kind of there in body only. And I had sort of to decide, whether I should actually, come or not. Anyway, I felt that I should. It was a family day out, and I didn't want to let anyone down. So we went to the Children's Theatre, and we got on the train, and just felt so rough. I really thought that I was going to be sick. And then we got to the Children's Theatre, and I can remember just standing at the back, standing as close to the door as possible, because I just thought that I could vom at any time. So what should have been, a wonderful family day out to the Children's Theatre actually turned into sort of it was a bit of a nightmare. It was not good at all. I sort of felt like I didn't feel like a very good father. I didn't feel like a very good husband. I just felt so rough, and it was an ordeal, and it should have been fun. And at that point, I decided that I'm not going to have another drink again. I've been alcohol free before for 6 years, and I just don't need this any in my life anymore. I sort of already knew in my heart of hearts that alcohol wasn't serving me, but this day out, where basically all I was good for was the kids, I was good for nothing. And I just felt so rough, and basically I ruined the day. I just decided that I was going to go alcohol free, and because I'd gone alcohol free before, and because before I'd found it easy and actually enjoyable, then I gave up just like that. I went alcohol free, and then ever since then, my life has, it's improved in every single way. My mental health's improved, my physical health's improved. I've got so much more energy. I've got more time. I've regained hours and hours every week because there's no hangovers, and I don't have that sort of low level anxiety. I don't sort of wake up with a terrible hangover and something to do, like having to go to work, or I'll go to the theatre with your children, and basically, yeah, life is so much better. But before it got to that point, I already knew in my heart of hearts that I should give up drinking. But maybe I thought it was difficult, or something was stopping me. And I think I've spoken to, through my alcohol-free freak stuff, I've spoken to a lot of guys who are in the position where they know in their heart of hearts that alcohol is not serving them anymore. And they really know in their heart of hearts that they should go alcohol free. Okay, but they don't. Something's stopping them. So this is a bit crazy, isn't it? Because if this is actually affecting your quality of life, it's affecting your relationships, and you've already come to the realization that you need to go alcohol free, but you are still not going alcohol free, then this is kind of, if you think about it really, it's complete madness. So it's as if, imagine that you've got a favorite item of clothing, like a favorite t-shirt that you've been wearing, for a long, long time, and you've always felt sharp in it, you've always felt good in it, no matter, you get a new t-shirt and it's just not as comfy as this t-shirt, and this t-shirt, you just absolutely love it. Imagine one day this t-shirt started rubbing you, and it started giving you a rash, and it started being just too uncomfortable to wear that t-shirt, and you knew, oh well, this is my favorite t-shirt, but it's bringing me out in a horrible rash every time I wear it. What would you do? Well, you would bin that t-shirt. Of course you'd bin that t-shirt. So if you know that alcohol's not serving you, if you know that alcohol is basically making your life worse, and if you know in your heart of hearts that you need to go alcohol free, then it's crazy, isn't it, that you're not going alcohol free. Now, of course, for many of us guys who reach that realization, it feels as though it's impossible. How could we possibly, given that we've been doing it since we were 16, how could we possibly go out with our old friends and not have a drink? How could we go out for a meal and not have a drink? How could we get home from a day of being stressed at work and not have a drink? How could we get to Friday night and not have a drink? That's a habit. It seems impossible, and it seems that we are destined to drink forever, even though we know that it's not serving us. So listen, I'm going to talk about this in other videos, about the fact that in actual fact, if you do it the right way, it can be easy to go alcohol free, and it can be enjoyable to go alcohol free. But today I just wanted to ask the question, has the alcohol stopped working for you? Listen, there's a free training for you. This training is specifically for male entrepreneurs, businessmen and professionals who are curious about going alcohol free. If you want to go and check that training out, it's completely free. Go to stayoffbooze.com. That's stayoffbooze.com. Thanks very much for your attention, and I'll see you tomorrow.